Both the houses of parliament saw some stormy scenes today as opposition raised the issue of security breach. The opposition sought to corner the government over the issue, demanding an answer from Home Minister Amit Shah, even as the government assured that the matter is being dealt with seriously and the breach is being thoroughly investigated. An uproar in both houses of parliament happened for everyone to see. 14 opposition MPs were suspended for the remainder of the session. In Rajya Sabha, TMC's Derek O'Brien was suspended after he had a face-off with the chairman, Jagdeep Dhankhar. He moved into the area in front of the chair, flung his arms in the air. This infuriated Dhankhar, who asked Derek to leave, and subsequently the upper house adopted a motion moved by Leader of the House, Piyush Goyal, to suspend TMC MP.
Why are you gesticulating? I hereby name Sri Derek O'Brien. Derek O'Brien is hereby named to leave the house immediately. What are you doing? Mr. Derek O'Brien, you have committed breach of privilege. Mr. Derek O'Brien to leave the house immediately. Mr. Derek O'Brien to leave the house immediately. The house is not in order. No. Do you approve of it? He walks up to this place. Mr. Khadge, leader of the opposition, can you imagine a member walking to this place? Shameful event. My head is in shame. Something has to be done. And the honorable member, is in the habit of playing hot and cold. He grows soft as a strategy gets into hot mood. Do you approve of it? Do you approve of a member walking in?
Let's open this up. Sanju Verma, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, joins us. Taran Verma, Lokesh Jindal, political analyst, Vivek Srivastav also with us. Sanju Verma, you know, these pictures, in fact, of what happened yesterday, what transpired today in both houses, unfortunate. What should have been a serious debate discussion on breach has turned into out-and-out political fight.
I completely agree with you, Pranesh, that, this was a very serious matter, and it, had to be a serious discussion on the floor of the House, which obviously did not happen. And there were some repeat and habitual offenders like Derek O'Brien, who does not cover himself in glory or his party. Let's be very clear. Jumping into the well of the House, throwing paper rockets at the chair, sloganeering, flinging your arms in the air, talking and behaving in a manner that is intimidatory. I think this calls for a suspension, and that is exactly what Jagdeep Dhankhar did, while the powers that he enjoys sweepingly by virtue of being the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha. Point number one. Point number two, I'm not going to beat around the bush. There is a thorough investigation that will happen. A probe has already started. 6 of the key accused have been slapped with UAPA charges. Now, people who are calling for the resignation or suspension of Pratap Simha, because I will address the elephant in the room without beating around the bush. Let's be very clear. He sponsored, for instance, this man called Manoranjan, whose father belongs to the Mysuru constituency, which is what Pratap Simha represents. And he has said that my son misused the good intentions of Pratap Simha. And I will just say this, that let's not jump the gun. Let's wait for a thorough probe to happen. Let's find out why the security personnel, despite a metal detector, despite physical frisking, despite security at 4 levels being present before you actually reach the visitors gallery, despite so many ifs and buts in terms of measures being in place, why what happened. Point number 2. Point number 3. My only, the only thing I take offense to is the opposition has every right to ask a question, and this government, the Modi government, stands for accountability. We are here to answer your valid queries. We are not going to run away. But when the opposition tries to politicize the entire issue and says कि होम मिनिस्टर ने क्यों स्टेटमेंट नहीं दिया, भैया कार्यवाही अभी जारी है. होम मिनिस्टर को जब स्टेटमेंट देना होगा वो देंगे. He knows what he's doing. The Delhi police is doing its job. The NIA is doing its job. But I want to ask one question. When the 1993 Mumbai blast happened, Yaqub Memon, the perpetrator, when he was given capital punishment, this entire Congress left knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court at 12 in the midnight and said, भाई याकूब मेमन को छोड़ दीजिए, इनको फांसी की सजा क्यों दी गई है? ये तो बहुत अच्छे इंसान है, he is a chartered accountant, ये कसूरवार नहीं है. When the Jaipur tiffin blast happened in 1993, Narasimha Rao of the Congress was the Prime Minister. Then when the Ahmedabad bombings happened, you had the Congress which was in power in 2011. But more importantly, Pranesh, I am a resident of Mumbai. After the horrifying and horrific 26/11 terror attack in Mumbai, Digvijay Singh कहते हैं ये तो RSS की साजिश है. And don't forget that the former Indian Air Force Chief Fali Homi Major said that the IAF was ready to avenge.
We didn't have political clearance.
Terror attack.
That's right.
But Sonia Gandhi's kitchen cabinet refused to give permission to the IAF to conduct a raid against Lashkar-e-Taiba.
Right. Now, I'm sure Lokesh Jindal has got a drift of your arguments. Lokesh Jindal, would you respond?
Yes, Pranesh, I have few questions to ask Sanju Verma ji. Question number one. Madam, what was the reason that on 13th of December, 125 security personnel were suddenly absent? On 6th of December, Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, the Khalistani separatist, had threatened to carry out a 13 December attack in the parliament. Following this, Delhi Police and CRPF, which comes under the Home Minister, they had increased the strength of the security personnel to 300. So effectively on Wednesday, 301 security personnel should have been there. But ऐसा क्या कारण था कि 125 security personnel, 42% of security personnel were missing on 13 December, the day when we had the parliamentary attack. Second question. The pass that was issued to these individuals was from a BJP MP, Pratap Simha. So why is it that the pass that was issued was from a BJP MP? Okay, fine. We give you the benefit of doubt. But don't you agree, madam, that CRPF, Delhi Police are under Home Ministry? They are directly under the Home Ministry.
I will answer that.
Why were 125 security personnel not in place? Third point I have to make. I have to make one more point. And one more, the most important aspect is you are just not putting any accountability and responsibility on the member of parliament who had issued passes anonymously. But when it comes to people like Mahua Moitra, you are very much vocal enough so as to have a suspended.
Lokesh Jindal, I'll tell you. Lokesh Jindal, 1 minute. Now, on the third question, I'll get Sanju Verma to respond to the first two, but just think about it. And viewers, you also give it a thought. You know, we call panelists. If a panelist starts calling someone names, starts abusing, is it the anchor's responsibility, the channel's responsibility?
Exactly.
We can't.
So when did I abuse? When did I abuse?
Lokesh,
analogy.
Lokesh, I'm not saying you abuse. I'm saying on the third question, this is my limited point. Now let's get the response of the first two questions.
Thank you. You know, Pranesh, you actually snatched words from my mouth. I was about to give this example. That imagine you call guests and me and Lokesh, I'm now sitting in Mumbai and Lokesh is in Delhi. But suppose we get into a physical fisticuff in your studio. तो प्रणेश की थोड़ी गलती है यदि हम दोनों शिष्टाचार भूलकर एक दूसरे के गले पर उतर आए. But anyway, let me not trivialize this entire issue. Let me come straight to the point. I'll tell you what. I repeat what I said. This should not have been the case. This should not have happened. But now that it has happened, let a probe happen and let दूध का दूध और पानी का पानी हो. But Pranesh, I will take 30 seconds to just nail one truth which the Congress has been shying away from. The date was January 5th, 2022. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's cavalcade was stuck at the Bhatinda flyover near Ferozpur for 30 long minutes within barely 12 kilometers of the Pak artillery range. And I was on a zillion debates with various Congress spokespersons, both official and non-official. What was the Congress saying then? Navjot Singh Sidhu ने कहा, अरे Prime Minister की कोई security breach हुई नहीं है, ये तो सिर्फ जुमलेबाजी है. Charanjit Singh Channi said, अरे कोई security breach हुई ही नहीं, ये तो सिर्फ नाटक नौटंकी है. Finally, a Supreme Court bench led by former Judge Indu Malhotra said,
no, Pranesh, what did Sonia Gandhi say? No, Pranesh, I won't allow
the breach in security happened because of Charanjit Singh Channi's incompetence. And Charanjit Singh Channi was the Chief Minister of Congress in Punjab. इसलिए यहाँ बैठकर नैतिकता का भाषण मत दीजिए बीजेपी को।
No, Lokesh, your point noted. Your point noted. Your point noted. Let me bring in the other two waiting patiently.
No, over here, Sanju Verma needs to apologize first. Madam, please come with your facts.
She did not name Sonia Gandhi, Lokesh Jindal.
This incident.
She hasn't named Sonia Gandhi. She was only talking about the individual she named.
She's saying that none of the Congress leaders came.
She didn't name Sonia Gandhi. She named a couple of them. Navjot Singh Sidhu, Charanjit Singh Channi.
Other Congress.
Lokesh Jindal, please.
She must point out. No,
Okay.
Parnesh, it gives a wrong impression. It gives a false information.
Your point noted, sir. Your objection placed on record. People have heard it. Lokesh, where's the dispute? Karan Verma. A grave issue like this, and look at the pictures playing out.
Right.
Should this have been the response?
Pranesh, we have a very irresponsible opposition, and what has happened, I would just extend it by saying that the kind of disruptionist, almost terrorist act that we saw is almost a manifestation of the rot that exists within the opposition, where they've started rationalizing incidents like this. Look at what Prashant Bhushan has said. He said unemployment is so high, this ought to happen. I mean, can you imagine this? When you start rationalizing protests, illegal blockades, 15 minutes of fame to such people, this is what can happen, unfortunately. The Congress party today, it was supposed to ask the tough questions. Who was responsible for it? Was it the head marshal? Was it the principal secretary? Those would have been the hard-stinging questions. But unfortunately, they are in cahoots with those who had actually opposed Afzal Guru's hanging. And that man, on 9th February 2016, who had organized a conclave, the illegal execution of Afzal Guru is today in their party.
To happen. The government has promised that they will get to the bottom of this. And in the meanwhile, let's just come together, introspect on our behavior collectively because of the message which is going out to the world. I thank all of you, Sanju Verma, Karan Verma, Lokesh Jindal, Vivek Srivastava, for joining us on India Upfront on Times Now. News Hour follows with Navita Kumar. Stay with us.